So here's a Simplicity Broadmoor. It's a 2016. This one has the 52-inch fabricated deck. Got it off the tractor right now. Here you see I got the wheel off, and I'm draining the transmission. This is a K62. The Broadmoors have I think either a K57 or a K62 tough torque. This one has a 62. It's the high speed. I think it's a little beefier because of the fabricated deck. You can see I've got this is from the Tough Torque website. These are the two drain plugs, A and B. So I got those off, and I'm just letting it drip real good. You can service this transmission without, without really taking the tractor apart. They've got in the frame here a little hole. Hopefully you can see. Here's the gearbox, and then that's the hydro chamber reservoir, I believe. And focus. So what I'll do is I'll just use a funnel and a tube to fill them right through here. And I think if I can't fill that reservoir from the side over here, there's also a little hole right here that I think I can get at it. I just got a piece of tape, so that there's a rubber protective cap that goes over it. So that's pretty simple to change the transmission on these things. I don't have a Simplicity dealer nearby, but I have a John Deere dealer. And they said they sell Simplicity at their other store, and they said the High Guard low viscosity transmission hydraulic oil will do just fine. And this is the you can see it's JDM J20D. So that's what I'll be using. I'm gonna let it drip real well, and then fill it up. And then they have a procedure to purge air from the hydrostatic transmission. So you jack it up, do a low idle speed, open and close the bypass valve, which is here, and then go alternate forward and reverse and bypass. And the idea is you just work the air out of the system that way. Alright, so I got the plugs back in both sides. Those two chambers are not connected, so you gotta drain them separately and fill them separately. Next, I'm gonna be finagling a tube in there and getting this full. The instructions say you just top off this one and then fill that one to the fill line with the reservoir. And I think you fill the hydro chamber through the reservoir first, and then top off the gear chamber next. So I'll do the hydro chamber first. Alright, so I filled the gearbox and the reservoir over there. I ended up just rigging up. I happened to have a piece of PEX and or a piece of PEX and a funnel. I ended up feeding it through there and then lining it up with the reservoir to fill that. That worked okay. Basically for the gearbox, I just filled it until it started overflowing and then stopped. Now I'm going to do the process to purge the air from the system. So in addition to the two fill plugs, or to the fill plug, let me turn the light on. So in addition to the fill plug that you can see right there, that fills the gear case. Make sure that's tight. It is. And in addition to that, you also have the reservoir. And what I learned is there's a couple documents on the Tough Torque website One of them just says fill the reservoir, but another one, when I tried to purge the air, it just wasn't working. There's a purge process that wasn't working, and I discovered that there's actually a fill valve up here that you need to fill. So here I'm coming in under the tractor, looking towards the back, and you can see right there there's a bolt, and that bolt holds behind it. There's a cap, and that's like a plastic cap with a rubber seal on it. You need to pull that bolt off, and you can reach up in there with a box wrench, pop that off, and you fill it up, and then you put it back in. And in order to fill it, I ended up just using something like this. This is just it's a little measuring thing to mix oil, and a tube from Farm and Fleet or Tractor Supply would have them too. And then you can thread that through and fill it from the top, and then you button it all back up. Then you go through the purge process. Worked great.